If you are a high-performing man in your 40s or your 50s and your energy has collapsed seemingly out of nowhere, this isn't just your age or you being close to burnout. What's actually happening is a quiet biological crash that slowly erodes your focus, your drive, and your age. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's causing your low energy and hindering your physical and mental performance. So over the past 3 decades, I've worked with more than 850 founders and senior leaders worldwide. Successful men who run companies, close deals, and lead teams. And I've noticed something they almost all have in common. And that's that they don't realize that their discipline to achieve financial success is actually what's accelerating their physical and mental decline. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why your body has stopped responding the way it used to when you were in your 20s and your 30s. And more importantly, what to do about it. But first, let me explain the thing most people miss. The reason why most health advice quietly fails men in their 40s and 50s. I'm 48 years old, so trust me, I have lived this myself. So when most men hit their late 40s or early 50s and start getting more belly fat, they're losing their energy, and they're struggling with decision fatigue and brain fog, they assume it's just because they are getting old. So they try harder, they cut calories, they push through the fatigue. They tell themselves they just need more discipline. You know the guy, he wakes up at 5 a.m., shows up to every meeting, still grinds through his calendar, but by mid-afternoon he feels completely exhausted and empty, irritable, emotionally numb, and he has absolutely no idea why. So here's the reality. After working with hundreds of men in this exact situation and going through this myself, I can tell you the problem isn't willpower. The problem is your cortisol. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone, and it's supposed to follow a rhythm. High in the morning to give you energy and focus, moderate throughout the middle of the day, and then low at night so you can recover and sleep properly. But when you spend your days bouncing between back-to-back meetings, checking email in the morning before your nervous system is even awake, eating lunch around 2 or 3 p.m. because you skipped breakfast, and going to bed with a ton of work thoughts still buzzing in your head that you can't let go of, your cortisol stays elevated. And when cortisol is chronically high, 3 things happen. First, your blood sugar becomes unstable. And that's why you get brain fog, those afternoon energy crashes, and constant cravings for sugar and carbs. Second, your sleep is not recharging your battery properly. You might be in bed for 7 hours, but you're only getting around 30 minutes of actual deep sleep. Third, your body starts storing more fat around your belly regardless of how clean you eat. This isn't weakness, this is your biology, and it happens to us all as we get older. When you were in your 20s and 30s, you could have survived on hours of sleep, crushed a stressful week, eat like absolute garbage, and still have tons of energy for the weekend. Your body had a margin to support this, but now you're in your 40s and your 50s or beyond, you do all the right things, and you still feel worse than you did 10 or 20 years ago when you weren't even trying. So that's not a character flaw, that's a hormone cascade, and on top of the cortisol problem, your other hormones are already starting to shift. Testosterone naturally declines about 1 to 2% per year after the age of 40. Growth hormone drops, which slows down your metabolism. Your insulin sensitivity decreases, which means your body stores fat more easily. Research from the European Journal of Endocrinology found that men in high-stress leadership positions experienced testosterone decline at nearly twice the rate of men in lower stress jobs. So you're just not dealing with getting older, you're dealing with accelerated hormonal decline caused by the thing that made you successful: your drive, your ambition, your refusal to slow down, and this creates a vicious cycle. When your testosterone drops, your body loses its ability to keep cortisol in check, and when cortisol stays elevated, it suppresses testosterone even more. The more stressed you are, the faster you decline. And the faster you decline, the harder it is to actually manage stress. If you add the wrong exercise and nutritional approach on top of this, intense workouts when you're already feeling depleted, calorie restriction when your metabolism is already fighting against you, you don't actually break the cycle, you don't improve, you accelerate the negative aspect. So this is why generic advice has failed you so far, because not everyone experiences this in the same way. Through working with approximately 850 high performers over the last few decades, I've identified 4 distinct patterns, and knowing which one of these you fall into determines what actually is going to work best for you. So there's pattern 1, which is adrenal overdrive. And if you have trouble falling asleep, even though you're exhausted, if you have stubborn belly fat, but your arms and legs and your limbs are generally lean, if you crash in the afternoon all the time, but then get a second wind in the evening, this is most likely you. You're in adrenal overdrive. Your cortisol is stuck on high, your body thinks it's in constant danger, and until you recalibrate that rhythm, fat loss is nearly impossible. Pattern 2 is burnout. This is when you wake up exhausted, no matter how much you sleep. You've lost your mojo and there's no more morning wood. Exercise leaves you depleted instead of energized, and you feel flat and emotionless by the afternoon. When nothing feels urgent anymore, your system is running on absolute empty, and you're pushing harder only makes you feel worse. Pattern 3 is inflammation. If you're dealing with brain fog and decision fatigue, bloating, joint pain, skin blemishes and issues, or your weight fluctuates 3 to 5 pounds from week to week, then you likely have chronic low-grade inflammation. This is common with people who travel more, have poor sleep, and have generally very high stress schedules. And it blocks your body's ability to release that stored belly fat. Then we have pattern 4, which is metabolic resistance. And if you've done years of unsustainable diets, extreme calorie restriction, or badly structured fasting protocols, your metabolism has essentially adapted to fight against you. Maybe you gain weight easily even when you eat clean, and you lose muscle the moment you stop doing weight training. Your body has learned to hold on to fat as a survival mechanism. Each of these 4 stress patterns requires a completely different approach to get past them. That's why generic fitness advice fails business leaders and high performers. It doesn't fix the root cause. So now let's talk about what actually does work. The worst thing you can do is try to push through it with more restriction and more willpower. That actually makes your problems worse. Instead, what you have to do is fix the foundations first. Step 1 is stabilizing your cortisol rhythm. That means regulating your nervous system before you worry about restricting calories. It means protecting your sleep quality, not just your total time in bed. And it means creating buffer space in your schedule so you have the mental freedom to make better decisions without feeling under so much pressure. Step 2 is eliminating your hidden energy drains. Most leaders think they've optimized their calendar, but they're still exhausted by 2 p.m. because of hundreds of micro decisions bleeding that mental bandwidth all day long. Fixing this alone has helped me recover at least 5 to 10 hours per week with leaders I work with. Step 3 is matching your nutrition to your current biology, not generic clean eating, a strategy designed around your stress pattern, your schedule, and your body's current state. And when you do this in the right order, your biology starts working with you instead of against you. Energy comes back within days, and your sleep improves, and fat loss happens as a side effect instead of a constant struggle. So if you're watching this and thinking this describes exactly what's been happening to you, I've put together a free energy audit tool that identifies which of the 4 patterns you fall into and what to do about it. The link is somewhere below this video. It takes about 2 minutes, and it'll show you exactly why your body has stopped responding and what the right next step is for your specific situation. I've helped more than 850 leaders get their energy back, lose the stubborn belly fat, and actually perform at the business performance level they are capable of. And if that's what you want, start with the energy audit. The link is below somewhere, and I'll see you in the next one.